Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your pal Sal, and sit on now because today we're gonna let Steam Gauntlet decide what we're playing. For those of you who aren't aware what Steam Gauntlet is, it's essentially this really shady website with this weird little anime chick whose eyes follow wherever your mouse is. They give you a wheel full of completely random games from Steam. You spin the wheel and it kind of spits something out of you for you to play. Now these games could range from something like Elden Ring all the way down to something that no one's ever played or even seen in their entire life. That is just a complete asset flip that's probably gonna take away all your data. Now I am broke as shit. So I've put the price range from $1 to $20. And now depending on the price and the length of the games that we get, we can play from 5 to 10 on this video. We'll see just how it happens. Now I assume that 99% of the games on Steam have like maybe 2 or 3 people that have ever played it. They're complete asset flips, but you never know. We might find the next Mega Bonk. There could be a hidden gem. You never know. So we're gonna just spin the wheel and hope for the best and see if we can find something actually worth playing in the cesspool of garbage. No time like the present. Let's stop rubbing our buttholes. Yes, me and you, the both of us. Let's stop and just spin this wheel, see what we get. Could be worse. It's already got mixed reviews and like 100 and something reviews at that. Not the best start, not a great sign that it's going to be a great game. It also it looks like a horror game, but it doesn't have the horror tag. It just has action adventure walking sim. I already hate walking sims, so that's not a great start for this game. But based off the thumbnail of the game, this woman looks like she wants to eat me and not in the fun way. So I'm going to assume it's a horror game, but who knows? Maybe it's a dating sim. Maybe this is actually like my beautiful wife. I think this comment from Darth is exactly how this is going to go for me. This game makes me want to shove a teddy bear up my ass. Socrates has been resurrected. Look, I'm just going to be honest, let's just get this over with. I know I'm not going to like it. Right off the bat, this game looks like shit, but really, what did we expect? The game itself feels horrible to play. When you're opening the doors, your camera is completely locked. It's so awkward. And then there's a slight jitter the entire time, especially when you're walking diagonally, or God forbid you walk into a light room. Even when I turned motion blur off, I felt like I was gonna throw up the entire time. I don't know if it's gonna show up in the recording. I sure hope it does. I was getting a headache just playing. Also, the doors that are locked and require a key can still be partially opened for some reason. Also, the transition scenes are fucking insane. You can tell that they tried to do something cool with it and it just turned out so goofy. Also, the house layout is ridiculous. Nothing makes sense. There's just random rooms of nothingness that just have a couch and a dresser in it for no reason. I get that this is meant to be, you know, he's just moved in and he's trying to unpackage everything, but why does he need like 8 different couches? There's also a point in the story where you actually get a package delivered. Holy shit. This is possibly the goofiest jump scare of all time. What was meant to be a scary, creepy moment had me cackling. And it went on for so long, I thought I was going crazy. It's still going! Even when the woman from the poster comes into the picture, her animations are just so goofy. Nothing is serious in this. Why is she moving like that? Why is she so cheeked up? And when they try to build the suspenseful music as she's chasing you, it stops so abruptly that it completely takes you out of it if you even manage to get into it in the first place. And when she does finally catch you, the jump scares are so goofy. I swear they must have had a tongue swinging animation in there at some point, but they took it out. And even when you do die, it brings you straight in front of your current objective. It doesn't like actually punish you in any way, so there's no incentive to avoid her. If anything, dying's gonna help. And the cutscenes in general look like they were made by a 12-year-old with 2 days of experience in Blender. It is wild. I could probably hand Blender to a monkey on crack and it'd turn out something better in a couple hours. I was determined to play each of these games for at least 2 hours. I got through half an hour of this game and I already felt like ripping my brains out. So you can already imagine this shit's refunded immediately. And on the tier list score, it's playable. It's certainly playable. Although that honestly might be a downside to this game because it's that bad. This game gets a generous D-. It is horrific. do not recommend. The only thing this game is good for is if you want to screen share to your boys while you play it and have a great laugh, because it's that goofy. Enough with this bullshittery. Let's just spin the wheel and try and get something not that. It's only got 19 reviews, although it seems mostly positive. It is also free to play, so no money wasted even if it is trash. It's apparently an action roguelike, so I love me a roguelike. The only negative comment I can see is that it's boring and terrible, and that's with 0.1 hours. A little bit of a biased opinion, I think. I don't really have too much to say about this one just from first glance, so let's just jump right into it and see if it's actually pretty good. Straight off the bat, the first rabbit you come across says press E to pet. Yeah, you immediately fucking devour this thing. The game's definitely got a cutesy, gory aesthetic with the constant blood splattering, which I do like. I like it a lot. Although, I have quite a few complaints about this game. Whenever I paused, there was a constant beeping noise in the background, and it drove me insane. Also, the walking sound effect was so obnoxious, I got sick of it real quick. There are some pickups like invisibility and also keys to open up new areas, but there's really not much variety in that aspect. There's also no jumping, but you can dash apparently, which I thought was a bit weird because I feel like jumping is a little more integral. Also on day 2, I glitched the hell out and I had to restart all over again, so this game could definitely use some polishing. They did have some mage enemies, although the AI kind of sucks, so it was so easy to dodge. They posed no threat to me whatsoever. The entire core loop is you come out of your burrow, eat as many little bunny guys as you can to get your score to the appropriate amount, and then try to get back to your burrow before night falls. Bit of an issue though, there's no timer that tells you when night's coming, and there's like no day or night cycle, so you can't see it becoming night. It just kind of randomly pops up like, hey, you got to get back before it's night. And that leads into another issue, which is it's so easy to get lost in this game. The whole thing is just a giant maze pretty much. So a little mini map or something like that would be fucking fantastic. The gameplay loop itself is just super boring. That reviewer was completely right. So hats off to him. I apologize for making fun of you. The game has potential, I guess, but good lord, in its current state, it is so boring. It's blander than a bread sandwich. I would not recommend it to anyone. At least it's free, so you can't really complain that you're wasting your money on this. Hoping the devs actually continue this project and hopefully build upon it. Besides that, I really have nothing else to add. The game is just, it's there. If I had to give it a rating, I guess like a C-. Like, it's not insulting. It's got potential. Like, it's okay to play. I could see someone enjoying this for a bit, but definitely not me. Hopefully the next game is a little more interesting. Well, interesting we did get. This game is absolutely insane. I thought I was schizophrenic for a second. The entire game is basically 360p. This is not a rendering issue. This is just what the game looks like. It's insane. Also, during the opening, the goddamn Illuminati song plays. This entire game is actually full of just copyright-free music, so clearly it wasn't in the budget to make actual music for this game. My entire general takeaway from this game is it's just some weird Russian slop game. I'm sure some comrades are going to be mad at me for that. Please don't hurt me. I don't know if this is a significant icon over in Russia, but Jesus Christ, is it painful. There's also, in the settings, a nudity level, and the narrator, I swear to God, is the most unenthusiastic voice actor of all time.
Штат Нью-Йорк, Соединенные Штаты Америки, 70-е годы.
It seems like pretty much all the voice actors in this game have just phoned it in. Speaking of the characters, the designs themselves remind me of those boomer Facebook shitposts. It's got that exact same vibe. The animations themselves are so awkward and unnatural as well that it almost goes full circle into charming, but not quite. It's still terrible. And the art style itself, it looks like it was made in paint by a fucking 5-year-old. During the cutscenes, there's so many prolonged moments of silence. I felt awkward being there. I mean, this shit goes for a while. There's a straight up whole minute where there is not a single bit of dialogue. The game feels so silent because there's nothing actually happening in the background. There's just the occasional rustling of clothes. For the first 20 minutes of my playthrough, nothing really happened. I couldn't play at all. I was just watching shit happen one thing after another. And then once I did finally get to play, it was just a simple point and click. Which, if you're into that style of game, or more power to you, I'm not, but I've played a few that are good, like I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I have no clue what the story is. I'm trying to keep up, but it's not happening. From what I've gathered, there's something to do with time travel, gremlins, and aliens, I think. I have no clue. The humor in this game is very edgy 90s. It's got racism, sexism, commie jokes. There's even a bit where they come across a Ukrainian. Probably not the best time for this to pop up. Also, while I was exploring, I found this random Batman mural, which is literally illegal for them to have. They don't have the copyright for this, but this game is Russian slop, so what do we expect? They don't give a shit. And it took 35 minutes into the game to even get my first dialogue option, something that is usually pretty integral in a point-and-click game. It's the only thing that keeps it from getting monotonous and really annoying. I guess the saying, be careful what you wish for, is very true, because certainly more interesting than the last, but not in a good way. If you're looking for a game that makes zero sense, that's going to be completely crack-filled and feel like an acid trip, boy, is this game for you. But if you want a game with a cohesive art style, story, and gameplay, stay so far away. If I had to give this a rating, entertainment-wise, I guess it was definitely more entertaining than the last game, but oh god, I don't want to give it any more than a D+, but it honestly, it might get the same with the last one. It might also get a C-. Purely from how fucking whack job this game is, I can't say that there's people out there that wouldn't love this. There's a certain demographic of people that I think this is made for, and if that's you, more power to you. I want to go bleach my eyeballs out. I also didn't look at the store page for this before jumping in. It is mostly positive, with like 377 reviews in total. It came out in 2017 because it is a remaster of a super old game. So I guess I'm praying that this isn't actually a hidden beloved franchise that I've just completely trashed all over. I'm just gonna move on to the next game because I can already feel the sniper scope in the back of my head. Right off the bat, this game's got 3 reviews. That's never a good sign. We do have this absolutely beautiful and heartwarming review from Sid. No matter how embarrassing this might sound for you, this game, honest to God, saved my marriage. While I was watching this football game between Czechia and Croatia on this beautiful Friday evening, my gorgeous son spent our loan money on this ridiculous game. The game's $1.50, by the way, thinking it would be fun to play it. After I told him to go to his room, my wife came into the living room telling me to stop screaming. I wasn't screaming, I just have a strong voice. Either way, I told my wife to sit down by the laptop to play this horrible game that my gorgeous son bought. Why does he keep calling his son gorgeous? Or I would do something really bad. Jesus Christ. She listened to my command and started launching this god-forbidden game. At the same day, we were signing our divorce papers, because I apparently am ashamed of this family, but since she was distracted, I shredded the divorce papers. My wife suffers from severe onset dementia and keeps forgetting what she does. So when she finished playing this beautiful game that my gorgeous son paid with our loan money, she forgot that we were divorcing. I hugged her and said everything would be alright, but since no one was in the kitchen, I was really craving for a mayo sandwich. Thank you, Anaya Software Development and Services Private Limited, for saving my marriage. What the fuck? I can say after playing this game, it certainly would save a marriage. It is fantastic. All jokes aside, the game is so simple. It is just a side-scroller that moves for you, so literally your only controls are to jump or shoot. Speaking of shooting, you have unlimited ammo, so you can just spam the shit out of this and completely cheese the game. But only for a bit, because the game is so unbalanced. Some of these parkour parts feel like almost impossible. Not for me though, I'm a god gamer. Specifically level 9, fuck this level, not mad at all. Some of the parkour does feel super janky and unbalanced. Also, the enemies move so fast that you have to shoot them, you cannot just jump around them. So even if you wanted to try and play this game fairly, you can't, you really have to cheese it. Also, this godforsaken song plays the entire time. It felt like I was getting tortured. This is a torture method, they were torturing me. Also, the 3D on a 2D backsplash can look good, but god damn, not this one. The game is nightmare fueled. This is some shit that I would wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night thinking about. Also, by looking at the trailer, I'm pretty sure you can use the money you get to get like new skins and everything, but from my time playing, I did not come across any of that. I did get up to level 16, so I know there's at least like 20 levels, but I don't know about after that. They did have one extra mechanic when I played, which was the jetpack part, which was such a nice change of pace. I was hoping that was going to stick around for a bit. It didn't. Unfortunately, I did enjoy this game more than all the other ones. Because it works. It works. It just works. And it's sad that that's such a positive. That should just be the status quo, but clearly not for this. It is just so low effort though. which they might make the excuse, oh, it's a kid's game. We have Madagascar, the game. No excuses, alright, the standards are raised. Also, these guys clearly don't care. They pump out games like it's nothing. In 2020 alone, they pumped out almost 10 games. All their games are about $1.50 each. So either these are asset flips or they are just putting minimum effort in to pump these out every month to try and get a quick buck. They're not in it for the love of the game. There is no care in the world for their products. I'd be half tempted to give them a D because there's clearly no effort gone into it, but it is playable and it is fun for the first 5 minutes and there is somewhat potential. I could see a 5-year-old enjoying this for maybe 10 minutes. So you know what? It gets a C, a flat C. Unfortunately, the highest score of the video yet. Although as we go, I feel like my standards are lowering and lowering and lowering. A man can only go through so much. Look into my eyes. This is the eyes of a man that regrets his video choice. What have I got? I actually played this game for quite a while, but I wasn't recording, so you're going to see me rushing through these levels like a madman. I promise I did take my time with this game, but I really just, I needed gameplay footage. Right off the bat, this game looks beautiful. I love the art style. The world environment itself as well is really cool. The character designs are so cute. I absolutely adore them. If you've been around my channel for any time at all, you know that I'm not a big fan of puzzle games at all, and this game is a quintessential puzzle game. That being said though, I did actually enjoy my time with this. Although like I said myself, I'm not into puzzle games, I can see that if you were into puzzle games, this game would be perfect for you. It's got that cutesy art style to draw you in. The puzzles themselves are pretty easy, but they progressively get harder, of course. And the one mechanic that I think really made this stand out compared to a lot of other puzzle games is you have the ability to snap your fingers and change the dimensions of the level. This opens up so many possibilities for cool level designs. And of course later on in the game, they implement boxes, being able to move them around. The puzzles do get a bit hard sometimes. And going back to that snapping dimensions mechanic thing, it can break the game a little bit, so you gotta be careful of that. Other than that, the only real downside I see is that the sound design is pretty low quality, but it kind of fits the aesthetic anyway, so it's not a huge downside. If anything, it could be spun to be a positive. The entire premise of this game is that your coffee machine blew up and now you have to go get parts to fix it. Peak storytelling. I love it. He had all the parts to build a portal, but not to fix a fucking coffee machine. So if you have a spare $7.50 lying around, I actually do really recommend this game. It's a good time. I didn't play it for a super long time, so I don't know if they implement even more mechanics in the future, but I hope they do. The game itself as well only has 6 user reviews and it came out in 2022. This is actually this developer's first and only game, so I would really recommend going and supporting these guys, showing them some love. This is what these videos are all about, people. Finding games like this that are really unique and cool, and just sharing them with you guys, because there are so many developers out there that put their heart and soul into projects like this that never get seen. This really did lift my spirits. It's given me a bit more morale to keep this going. So like I said before, if you really do want to go check this out, I'll leave a link in the description. Please go check it out. It actually looks really cool. I think of course the game could definitely use some polish, but other than that, I really have no complaints. Given this is the only game so far that's actually good, I'm giving this an easy A- because I can't see anything else in this video being better, unfortunately. Who would have guessed a 2D platformer puzzle game would be at the top of my list? I honestly don't have too much else to say about this, just a all-around pretty good game. On to the next one, it's probably going to be trash. Before we jump too deep into this one, apparently this one was actually originally a 3DS game. However, I'm going to be judging this based on what I played, especially given that it's meant to be a PC port and how well it's ported. Right off the bat, the menu screen reminds me of like the old school 2000s punk style, which I absolutely love. I don't know if it quite fits the vibe of the game, but it looks cool. Speaking of the vibe, the atmosphere of this game is great. There's no music when you're playing, which actually adds to the experience, because it is meant to be scary, creepy, horror, no one's here to save you vibe. The gameplay and the controls are fine. They're not polished or smooth, but they're passable. It feels like this was a bit of a rushed port because everything kind of feels pretty janky. And the single player, it's not great. I assume that this game would be a lot better with friends because unfortunately, although the atmosphere is really good, it's so barren. You have to walk for miles to find a single thing. There is nothing littered in between everything. So you will be just staring at a white field of nothingness for at least a solid 10 minutes in between every actual location. Obviously, they tried to combat this by adding vehicles into the game, but they're so annoying to actually get. For this helicopter, I had to get an engine part. I got the engine part, but for some reason it wasn't working for me. Or for this dog sled, you had to find a fucking goose or a fish, or this ice truck thing where you need to find fuel. I couldn't find any of that shit. Another issue I had was with the guns. I would find a gun and then I'd find a different type of ammo. Not until the end of the game did I actually find both the gun and the same ammo type. I will say the guns were fun. Once I got it, this shotgun was sick. Sometimes, however, it feels really powerful. Other times, it feels like I'm shooting them with Nerf bullets. The one thing about this game that I think is absolutely awesome, everything you have to do requires a mini game. Whether it's gathering wood, lighting matches, playing the piano, which adds health depending how well you do, charging your battery, or even sleeping, everything's a mini game. It sounds really tedious and annoying, but it never got that way for me. I thought it was just a really cool way to implement more gameplay into the game. And I'm always a big fan of any game that adds a little rhythm mini game into it. I love rhythm games. I might make an entire video about that. But other than that, I really have nothing else to say. The game's good, but it got real boring real quick. I think if the game had more stuff in between to actually check out and didn't rely so heavily on the vehicles, or if the vehicles didn't require more bullshit to get, this could have been a better experience. Obviously, again, it was originally a 3DS game, so we're gonna cut it some slack here. I think comparative to this list, it's a really good game. If I had to give it a score, I'm giving it a flat B. It was good. It was a good time, and I do recommend it. If you have some friends and you have gone through all the other survival games and you're just looking for something new, honestly, pick this up. It's cheap. I reckon you could get a few hours of fun out of it. You know, just run around and explore, see what you can do. I'll leave this one in the description of the video as well if you wanted to check it out. Other than that, I really have nothing else to add to this, so we're just going to move on to the next game. We've gotten 2 decent ones in a row. Let's hope we keep that trajectory. Hi, were you expecting gameplay footage? So was I. I tried opening this game 4 different times. It crashed every single time, 3 times before I could even get to the main menu. So I guess we're just going to talk about what I can see on the store page. I'll be honest, I genuinely didn't expect to get a game like this. It just straight up doesn't work. It has reviews. People have played it. So clearly for some people it has worked, but for me, no. Now the game itself is free to play, and it does have a starter pack that's $2.99. I'm not quite sure what you're meant to get from this, but straight off the bat, this guy here says that you don't get anything from it. He bought the starter pack, not sure why you would do that, and got nothing from it, so already scammy as fuck. Also, this game is a mobile port, and a terrible one at that, because it can't even run. Keep in mind, I've got a 5070. I don't think I'm the problem. Speaking of reviews, it does have 28 reviews and they're mixed. The game, based off the trailers and what I can see from the promotional stuff, looks fine. If only I could play it. For how scummy they are, for how shit of a port this is, and the fact that it doesn't even work, this is an easy E-. Thank you for wasting my time. Don't waste your time with this trash. Next game. If you've played any top-down roguelike game before, then you know exactly what kind of game this is. You don't even need an explanation. It does just kind of feel like a smaller scale, more indie version of Vampire Survivors. You can tell that this is a beginner dev's passion project, because although it is very small scale, it does actually have a surprising amount of content. It's really well made. You've got 5 different upgradable characters with different unique attacks and abilities. All the different god abilities have different favor levels that you can unlock. There's different lore and storybooks to read. There's 5 different levels to work throughout. And a big issue that a lot of these roguelike games have is that the difficulty either just doesn't increase enough and you just become god way too quick, or it increases too much and you're just an ant the entire time. But Magis Dream actually balances this really well. It feels great. You can progress at the same level that the enemies do, so you never feel too weak or too strong. Obviously it depends on how you progress your build. Overall, I really like the art style. The arcadey pixel feel was really nice. The designs themselves are really simple, but I actually kind of liked them. Some of these weapons, however, feel completely pointless, even after upgrading them at this adorable little shop. So I think the weapon balancing could be worked on a lot, because some of these weapons, again, like I said, completely useless or either really strong. I'm not gonna say that this is gonna take Steam over like Mega Bonk did, but it's certainly a good time. I think personally this is the only game that I think I'm gonna continue playing after this video. I have a certain affinity for roguelikes, and I kind of actually still feel like progressing in this game afterwards. So if you're watching this, guess what? This is also going to be in the description of this video if you want to check it out. Now, objectively, I don't think it's good as the coffee game, but my personal bias is going to put it on par with that. So this is also going to get an A-. I'm honestly bewildered that we had all of the shit games at the start and now we're getting nothing but bangers. This game was made by Arcera Studios and it's their only game, which banger from the start. So you definitely gotta go support these guys. And these guys only have 3 user reviews, so they're pretty unknown. So please, if you have an extra $1.50, go check out this game. It's a good time. Enough yapping, next game. Militant is a game that I had like an unusual amount of hope for, especially given that it looks similar to that mouse game. Absolutely horrific. Unfortunately, this one didn't work for me either, which for a game being $14.50, I'd expect it to work. Apparently this was made with the Steam Deck in mind, but that being said, it's got all of the input controls for a controller, for a keyboard and mouse, so I can't play this at all. I tried desperately and I could only ever get up to literally starting the level and not being able to move left, right, not being able to jump or shoot or do any of my input. The main menu worked though, so it's already better than the other one that didn't work. And looking at the Steam page, it's got 10 reviews. It's mixed, and this is their only game. Let's hope it stays that way. I will say, just from browsing the menu, it looks kind of interesting. You've got a ranked and an unranked, which obviously correlates to the leaderboard they have, which is wild, because it's not an online game from what I've seen. It looks like just a campaign game, but it actually calculates your score and puts it on a leaderboard, which is cool. The story premise is so basic. It's literally just every faction's fighting to get this one material that'll change everything and make them the most powerful. Something that I think we've seen in every single Call of Duty ever. So if you just want a side-scroller shitty Call of Duty and you have a Steam Deck, I guess check this out, but be wary because it might not work. I don't know. For the fact that it's so expensive and I couldn't even play it, it's obviously going to get an E-. Although even if I could play it just by looking at the trailers, for how expensive this game is and the quality you get out of it, this would have been like a D- anyway, even if the gameplay itself was decent. It looks terrible. This looks like it should be like a $4 to $5 game maximum. Let this be a lesson that if this is your first ever game and it is not up to standards with other games in that price range, maybe you drop the price. Maybe you want people to actually play your game. Also, make it work. I don't know how we got 2 games that just straight up I couldn't play. It's upsetting. It's very upsetting, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And unfortunately, that is the last game of the video. Do apologize. I was hoping that we would actually be able to play all the games. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Please leave a like, comment. Maybe I'll do this again. Maybe I won't. I'll see. Next video I'm going to be working on is the Flash Games video, so look out for that. Part 3 coming soon. But yeah, I'd love to do something like this again. It was really interesting. We got quite a few stinkers, but we also found some little hidden nuggets. Little hidden nuggets in the dirt. Am I dragging this out because I don't know how to end videos still? Yes. I got Play-Doh. See that? I got Play-Doh. Remember as kids when we used to eat them? It's not as good. Not as good as when we were kids. Oh,